All right, welcome back to Mill. My name's Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Woodworking and Forestry. And today I'm finishing up my customer obligations milling customer jobs and testing out the roller guides. But I'm not going to mention the roller guides anymore. We've already tested them. We know that they're better. We know what they can do. And I'm going to leave that one alone. However, what we're doing now is hopefully we're just getting information out there of what you can expect. If you go out and you buy an HD36 Norwood mill, what you can expect to be able to do. So you've seen me mill everything from 34-inch diameter pine logs to 16-foot, you name it, everything. You've seen me cut with a DRO and cut super accurate 9/16 inch thick pickets to ridiculous tolerances with the old guides, with the ceramics. Big logs, small logs, you name it. If anything, if I had to be critical, it's very hard to mill small logs on this mill, and you really should consider getting an extra bunk setup to put one in between the 4-footers down on the far end of the mill. I think that would make sense, especially if you're a woodworker and you're going to cut some small stuff. Danny and I are hanging out today. Guys, say hi to Danny. He's still sniffing around his yard this morning. What we have today is a massive ash log. This is, it's over 17 feet. I got to cut it down on the big end here. I'm going to trim it. Let's go this way. It's probably 21 on the big end. I'm going to trim this down so it's true, and I'll tell you why I have to. Now, I was looking at that end to see if there was any ash borer damage, but there doesn't appear to be, so I am going to cut off the small end down here. The small end is, well, it's taller than the big end right now. It's 23 up in this direction, and it's, let's just say 16 in between the wood. In the sideways dimension, it's got obviously a double pith here because this tree branched out. But what I need is 16-foot trailer boards. I'm going with ash because the white oak that the customer supplied me with is not big enough to do the whole trailer, and I didn't want to mix wood. I like to do my trailers with single planks instead of scabbing in portions. This particular trailer that I'm doing, you could scab in 8 foot and 8 foot, which would make it a lot simpler because there is a wide plate in the middle of the trailer. However, when you're loading big equipment on trailers, structurally, just makes more sense to go 16 feet if you can. And now here is the shortcomings of the HD36. So if you look down here, I just remarked, these are my zero out marks. That's the back of the blade. So as it cuts out, it's not a real true zero out, because a true zero out's 1.25 inches in front of that. But this is so the back of the blade cuts out of the wood. And then if you come down here, let me just get the saw carriage out of the way. This is 16 foot right here from the zero out mark. That is 8 inches from the back of this bunk. I just have that marked just for reference. That gives you, this is the front of the blade, and that gives you 16.8 from the blade to the out mark, but I put 16.7 max just because you can't have the log right up against the band. Obviously, you need some clearance to be able to roll it, which gives you a more realistic length of around 16.4, 16.3, which is what I've been saying from the beginning. That's about what you can cut max on this mill with a 20-foot deck. So this has a 4-foot extension on it. This is not the way it comes from Norwood. in standard form, this has a 4-foot extension, so my deck is 20 feet long. And with a 20-foot deck, you can realistically cut 16.3. So what I'm going to do is true up this end, take that chunk off. You have to in this case. There is a teeny little bit of ash borer damage there, but I don't think that's going to cause any problems. I am going to measure 16.3, cut it off, take off that big nub there and any nub that's on that side. And we're going to go from there. What our goal is today is to try to get around a 12-inch cant. I can't do the 12-inch off the top of my head, so 18 would be 70 and 56 is 136. So 18 inches would get you 13.6. 16 inches would be 70 and 42 would get you 112 is 11 foot, 11.2. So it's got to be bigger than 16 to get a 12-inch cant. It's got to be smaller than 18. So somewhere in that sweet spot. We have no problem getting that down here. We have a little bit of problem getting it down there, but if we turn it the right way, we'll be fine. And matter of fact, when I cut it off, it might even get better. So what I want in a 12-inch can is I really want to end up with 7 10-inch wide boards to do the trailer 70 inches across. So 7 10-inch wide boards is what I'm shooting for out of the cant. To get 7 boards out of the cant, an 1.5 inches, you would need, let's see, you need 7 inches and 3.5. You need 10.5 plus 6/8. So that would be 11.5. So you need 11.5 inches in one dimension to get your 7 boards out of it, 1.5 inches thick. And then just to shoot for a square is the safest way to go. So if I err on the safe side, I want a 12-inch cant. That's what I'm shooting for. If there's some wane, it shouldn't matter because whenever you're doing a trailer, you can put the wane down so you have a clean spot up. So our goal at this point is to get a 12-inch cant. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fire up the 372 with the chain I just sharpened on video the other day, the one that I broke, put back together, and then resharpened the other day. And we're going to cut this off. We're going to measure 16.3. We're going to cut it off. And then we are going to put this thing up on the mill and we are going to mill it. It's the only job that I have to do today. I already did some cleanup out here. I have a brand new band on. Silvertip Turbo 7 from Wood-Mizer. I actually get them out of Dave's Sawmill. But just as a Norwood is sending me some new bands. I'm not sure of the name of them, but some new bands to try, and supposedly they're really good. So we'll check them out when we get them. But anyway, let's fire up the 372, and we will get this thing cut and figure it out. So I'll try to get you a decent view when I do this. I know that the saw is going to mess with the noise canceling. Let's just true up this edge, and we'll go down and cut it off. Let's take a lumber crayon with us. We'll go down and we'll measure out the 16.3. I'll get you down the other end. Danny does not like loud noises, so he's going to move. We'll see how this 372 cuts through the ash. Three are marked. Let's get you a good view, and we'll watch this chain that I sharpened cut through this big bad boy. Baseball bat hard. Baseball bat hard. And I'm going to trim off these couple of knobs here. It's kind of hard to do with the 3/4 wrap, but we'll manage. I'm screwed. There's a big hollow in the tree. All right, so I got one big problem. This big hollow in the tree here. Hopefully it's not super bad. That means that I don't know how much of it's going to come off with this cut here. I'm going to want to put this up and cut this side first and make sure that hollow is facing up or down, either way. I'm going to have to be very careful about how I trim this, and I am going to have to make sure that I use my slab cuts. So any slab cuts I take are going to have to be 1.5 inches thick. The trailer decking does not have to be uniform. It can be different sizes. It doesn't matter. So whenever I take a slab cut, if I take it 1.5 inches thick and I can get 1.5 inches by 6 or something like that, that works fine. I'm going to have to utilize this whole tree, I think, to make up for this spot right here. That sucks. There's no way to avoid it. I could not go any shorter. We're just going to have to hope when we make this cut that most of this comes out and that we can still get, what do we look? What's our total here? So we're 18 inches high. We're 18 inches across. So we have no problem. 18 is 70 and 56 is 126. So we're going to get just over a 12-inch cant. That should be extra wood. We don't need 12 inches. We only need 10. So even if we could get a cant that's 12 by 10 would be perfect. That's exactly what we want to make it look good. I am going to get you guys over here. We'll get the saw put away. That what's left over, that ash will become firewood, and I'm going to put you guys on pause while I get it on the mill because this is going to be a chore, and I'm going to try to get it in a good orientation also before I bring you back, and then we'll get to sawing, and you will get to see what really or continuing education of what you can expect from an 18 horsepower HD36v2 manual mill. So I'm going to pause you guys and I'll be back in a few. All right, I believe we're ready to rock and roll here. So we got it in what I would consider the right spot. I can see a problem right now. This end's got to get kicked over. That end, I'm not going to get out down there. It's going to interfere. I got to push this end over. I'm going to pause you 1 second. Took a lot of finagling. I'll show you what I did in a minute. Let me get that end pushed over. I can't do it with a PV. It's too heavy. All right, I think we got her. Let's just give you an idea how big this log is. It's a big ass ash. There's a lot of dirt in it. Most of the dirt's up here on the top. I think I've got the side cleaned out a little bit to try to save the blade. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the top off this thing. And I'll probably pause you guys in the rolls just because I don't think I won't be able to roll it by hand. So I'll have to strap it and roll it. There's a lot of dirt in the furrows of the bark. So we want to get as clean a wood as we can. And I'll try to keep you updated as I go. So did the best I could. I'll show you how I got it placed. Show you how I got it placed. So you can see my dead zero mark over there. My dead zero mark right there. I got it pretty much lined up there. Now I know I have a blade width there. And then down here, let's go this way. So you have to do all this, guys. It's not easy. And if you don't have a machine, you're in really big trouble. I have put a mark on the bottom of that little cutoff right there. I should have cut that off flush. But I put a mark on that where I needed to get to on that bunk. You can see how little at 16.3 I have to the band. That's it. That's all there is. There ain't no more. So just to let you know, that is the max, absolute max. You could come over maybe another inch to 16.4, but you got that little clearance there. If there's any imperfections in the end of the log's going to have to be cut perfectly straight. I had to bungee the mill down so it didn't move forward so that I don't end up pushing this thing into the band and messing it up. So there's a lot of things going on here to try to get this in the right spot at 16.3. And you will see when I come out the end here at how little I have to play with. Matter of fact, what I'll end up having to do is I won't be able to come out and go up and go back, I don't think. I think I will come out and I'll have to pull everything off that way. So I'll end up getting my picaroon down that end, and I'll have to pull everything off the backside, I think. So, no further ado, you get to see how she cuts an ash, and we'll take it from here. I'm going to come down through that hollow spot first, and back you up a little bit. I'm going to come down through that hollow spot first, and hopefully that thing doesn't go very far. It gives me there's quite a bit of usable wood here below it. Down in here, this is this is 16, 18 inches from here, and it goes that deep. So we'll have to see. We'll take as much out of it as we can. Our top cut's going to end up being some sort of skim cut. Right now I'm like 21 to the top. I might try it at 20. Let's just check some other areas here. 20 would be good there. Assume it's getting better down here. 20s, it's sitting fairly flat right now. So I think I'm going to take my top cut at 20. Put my gloves on, get my picaroon down the other end, and we'll go to town on the monster as big as you can put on this mill ash. put some pretty good water to it, at least in the beginning here. Hopefully wash away some of the dirt. So we're gonna up to 20, and we're gonna start our cut right there. Oh, still bungeed off here. Trapped! I'm trapped! So we're gonna take it right there and we'll see how it goes. I don't see any issues. I can come over with my support a little bit. That looks good. So let's take it off. So seems to be cutting good. And when we pull these off, what we have to do is we have to get clear of the saw carriage, not bang into your guide, and then we'll just flop them down like that. There's still a little bit of wood maybe in that, just not 16 foot long. And this fissure goes pretty deep. This is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. That sucks. I don't know how deep yet, but it does go pretty deep. I think at this point, I'm just going to flip this log over and go at it from the other side. I don't think it makes any sense to try to cut down below that right now. I think what we need to do right now is try to get the biggest piece square that we can. And this is going to be a problem. That sucks. And when dealing with something this close to the band, for the meantime right now, when you're rolling it and flipping it and stuff like that, I would suggest, if you have a trailer package, you can just lock your trailer package down, but I would suggest using a bungee cord or something to keep that from sliding over and having you roll it into the band or something. So really good cut, but that doesn't matter right now. I'm going to pause you guys and we'll get her flipped over and we'll come back. All right, we're flipped. There's Danny. We're flipped and we're going to cut the other side. This is going to be like an hour's worth of work and one cut, and an hour's worth of work and one cut, an hour's worth of work and one cut. This is as big as you can put on here. So I get 18 high. I get about 17 high here, so I'm looking at maybe a 16 cut. 16 cut. I think I'll try it at 16. I think I want to take off as little off this side as I can. Just because of that situation with that rot spot on the bottom. If anything, I'd like to have the bottom of the log good, maybe even a little bit of wane, and then the top slabs to be the waste. So I think 16 is where it's going to be. It's kind of thick here, but I think that's the only thing that makes sense. So looks like 16 it is. We'll try it there. Bunching my head here. So I think that's it. I'm going to try it there. Shit. What am I going to do now? All right, so what I have to do, because I didn't cut out, I'm right at the edge of doing it. I have no way of ripping the slab off because it did cut out a little bit, so it cut out like right here, but didn't cut all the way across. What I have to do is take this pin out, take this stop off, just push it forward to here, and then put this back. I've got an inch to go to the stop over here, and I've got a couple of inches before I go off the track. So let's see, see if we can do it just enough to cut out. Yep, that's perfect. And we'll pull a slab off, then we'll put that stop back on. So far, so good. No catastrophes yet. Get the saw head back down the other end, and we're going to flip it over again. Put our stop back in so that we don't forget. Go. And oh, just like that. Huh. Yeah. There's a possibility we'll have to do that again. I will. I don't know. We'll see. I'll end up having to slide it down that way a little bit later. It's cutting ridiculously smooth. Oh my God. It's like not a single saw mark in the whole log. I'm really going to try to leave myself the max I can here. Because right now, I pretty much have, what, 8? Yeah, I've got 8 wide right now, all the way through the log. So if I had to mill from here down, there's no doubt that I could get the ones that I need probably before I hit that hole, just going straight down right here. We're going to find out. So we'll bungee this thing down. I'll put you guys on pause. We'll flip it over again. Actually, let's try. Let's see. Keep using the saying since I want to challenge everybody. Wonder if I can flip it by hand. You know what? Let's give it a shot, see if I can flip this thing by hand. I doubt it. It's a pretty heavy log. Ash is not light. It would be great if I could. We'll try it. We'll get our log dog assist set up here. So as it's going over, that's going to fall down. I think that'll be okay. So let's see if I can flip it. Where's Danny? Danny? Oh, it's over there. Okay. Oh, almost. Okay. No way. No, it's beyond my capability. So I'm gonna have to flip it with the strap again. So I'll pause you guys. And I'll probably, when I do flip it, I don't know, maybe I'll try to scoot it down a little bit. Okay, pause you guys. All right, well, that was pretty painless. I actually just rolled it with the forks. I didn't even have to put the strap on it. So let's see where we got to go. So this side, I'm looking at maybe a 19 cut there. It's not going to clean up. Maybe 18 there. It's not going to clean up. And I don't want it to right now. I just want to take off stuff that I know I can't make a board out of. 18 there. 18 is just a minimal cut. So I think we'll just take it at 18. There's still going to be weighing on this side at least. I don't know about that side, but there'll be weighing on this side. Like I said, I don't really care about weighing. I need to get this into a max square right now. So 18 it is. That's where we'll cut it. And let's see what happens. Get off our bungee cord so it doesn't grab us like an idiot. I got to come down a hair. It's not going to clean up the top here. So right there is about the max, 17.5. So let's cut it right there. I can get a little more support out of my guide roller here. That looks clear. Let's do it right there. All right, so we'll get this slab cut off, and I think I will drop down and take an 1.5 inch piece off. I think that'll be okay. It gives me a nice wide board that can be edged off later. And it looks okay total. I think it'll be fine. This will give me at least a 10-inch board here. So I'm going to drop down 1.5 inches and take one more, and then we'll flip it over and we'll see what we got. So we're just less than 17.5, so we got to go to just less than 15.5 and add an 8. So just less than 15 3/8. That's where we're cutting it. That should be good right there. Just measure that, make sure that's 8.5. Didn't make a mistake. We'll let the band stop spinning, so I'm getting in where the band is. That's not inch and a half. I gotta come up a little bit. That's not inch and a half. Let's check this out here. I don't know what happened there. So 17 and a half. Oh, I went way too far. So that's inch is 16 and a half, 15 and 7/8. That's why you measure them, boys and girls, right there. My clutch is banging again. All right, so we got 1 out of 10. 1 out of the 10 that we need. Where do I want to put this? I think I'm just going to put them over here and I'm picking them up later. Can't put them on the forks. I can't carry it right now, I don't think. One more slab cut coming off, so I'm probably going to want to put this one. I don't want to put this one near the mill because it's got to be edged. All right. I think I could just go ahead and take one more, lighten this thing up a little bit. So we're at 16 and 7/8. We got to come down to 15 and 7/8, 14 and 7/8, 14 and 3/8, 14 and a quarter, I think. Let's do that. Let's take one more of it. This is going to give us like 2 more. This cant is 16 inches wide right now, so you get almost 2/8 out of it. If I cut one more with this little bit of wane, that'll be fine. So let's see here. Let's get down. So I was at 15 and 7/8 right there. That's where I was. And so I'll come down to 14 and 7/8, 14 and 3/8, 14 and a quarter, I think, is where it needs to be. Let that calm down and we'll measure it. Yeah, that's 1.5 inches. Let's take another one off right now. I'm going to pour the water to it more. All right, get this one off. We've covered probably 24 of the 70 inches right now with just those two cuts. This one maybe needs to, it might need to be edged. All right, we're gonna flip it up. Get a saw back, flip it up. Just starting to get into that rot spot. I'm wondering if I should take one more. I think what we'll do is when we flip it over, we'll take off whatever we can until we get to that rot spot off the other side too. And then we'll flip it up and cut it the other way off the good stuff off the top. If that makes sense. Probably make more sense to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you right now. Right now, we've got a pretty good chunk of wood. And what we can do, if you see this rot spot from that limb right there, we're going to flip it all the way over 180 degrees so that bottom down there is up. We're going to cut as many boards off that side as we can before we get to that rot spot. That keeps us at that 16-inch width. And you only need 4 and a little piece of 16-inch wide boards to do the whole trailer. You know, obviously, I think I'd rip them down to 8, but that's all you need to cover the 70 inches. So 16 and 16 is 32. So it's 64 inches is 4 boards. So we have one, we have a piece. We'll get at least one out of here, maybe 2. If we could get 2 out of this side, I think we're gold, because then what we'll do is we will flip it, the side that's facing away from you right now, up. So we'll flip it all the way over and cut down until we get into that rot spot, and we'll get a few more. We'll be thinner, but we'll get a few more. So I think that's the goal. We're going to flip it all the way over right now and cut off that other side. We'll top it and then cut down until we hit it, until the boards are no good. And then we'll flip it up on its side and finish it off. And we're getting these, like I said, at 16.3. You can see, I mean, it's cutting just beautifully. This is stressing the mill out, though, even with a sharp band. I want to tell you that. This is, it's not ripping through this like pine. So I'm going to go ahead, pause you guys, and we'll flip her over. All right, so we're back in the ball game here, and it looks like if I take my top cut at 12, I think I can squeak one board out of the next cut. One thing we do want to do is we are going to want to put our scale on 1.5-inch scale. I think we already are, actually. We cut boards last night at 1.5 inches. I think we're already at 1.5-inch scale, so I'll just slide it down and check. So it should be 3 1/8, I think, should be on scale. Yep, 3 1/8 is on scale. So I think this top cut's going to be somewhere around 12. That's going to leave a bunch of wane, but I should be able to edge off a board in there somewhere. 12 does not fall on scale, so let's see what it does. 13, just less than, where's that going to be? 12 7/8 is on scale, but I don't think that gives us enough down here. Oh, maybe. It's going to give us almost a 7-inch wide board. Is there anything too low there? Yeah, it gets a little low there. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is drop to 12. Oh, shit, I can't. I really can't. Because then I'm wasting a board. I think what I should do right now is I should take, I could be wasting one here too. Well, we can not worry about scale here and just think that we can just drop 1.5 inches, come down to 12 and just drop 1.5 inches. It looks like I'm going to squeak out 2 here. There's going to be some way and they're going to have to be edged for sure, but I'll get a bunch of wood out of it. So I'm going to drop to 12 and then we'll drop 1.5 inches. It kind of looks like where it should be. So let's try it there. This clutch is wrapping into gear again, just like the other one. And this flitch, this slab cut, we're going to want to get way off. We're going to want to get this as far away as we can so we don't cover up any of our other shit. Everything else is going to end up being usable from here out. So this one we're going to drop down 1.5 inches, take another piece off. It looks like we're going to get at least 2. They'll both have to be edged. So we're at 12. We're going to come down to 10 3/8. That looks like one more good one before we get to the rot spot. And then we'll just have fun throwing these up on the mill afterwards. What I'll probably do is I'll probably come over here with a bobcat, load the bobcat, bring it over here, put the forks up nice and high, and so I can just slide them on. So definitely one more. We're at 10 3/8. We got to go to 9 3/8, 8 7/8, 8 3/4, I think is the next cut. Just measure that quick. Make sure I'm right. Yep. Yep. Take it off right there. It's another 16-inch wide one. It's cutting perfectly flat. It's really cutting good. That clutch is pissing me off though. It's already banging just like the other one was. And it's banging loud too already. Brand spanking new. We're just getting into the rot spot. So we'll bring that back. We're going to flip this up and start cutting off the top. There's a bunch of ants in it there too. I should be able to flip this thing by hand now, maybe. Should. We're going to be cutting a nice clean wood. They'll be full width at basically 9 inches, just a little less than 9. Here, I'll keep you guys on while I try to flip it. Let's see if I can do it. It's going to be heavy. Nice. So we got our rot spot on the bottom. I know that I can see it coming through right there too. So we're going to get 5 or 6 out of it before we get to it. You can see it poking through right here. So that's like 6 of them before we get to it. 6 of them is almost 60 inches. We'll have enough wood. So we're just going to cut it down until we can't go in the meh. And what I will do after that is I'm going to take the rest of it off as a big beam, let those ants die, and maybe cut it later. So we'll go ahead and we'll start cutting it off the top. 6 of them, no, what am I saying? 6 of them is 36. 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have enough wood. If I can get 6 out of here, I got enough wood. I might even be able to have enough wood with 5. So hopefully we're right on or close to scale at the top. We don't want to scale off the bottom. We want to scale off the top. So we're going to set our scale. And what are we at? Just make this easy. Make this easy. So we're at 16 right now. Is the hair less than 16, 15 and 7/8? Let's check it and get a real good number. Yeah, 15 and 7/8. 15 and 15/16. 15 and 7/8. So it looks like the whole log's within a 32nd. So we're going to set our scale at it's like 15/16. 15/16. 15 and 15/16. So that's where we're going to set our scale for our 1.5 inch, our 6/4 scale. We'll start milling down from the top, and then we'll take the rest off as a beam. And then I don't know what to do with the clutch at this point. Let's I'm just going to finish cutting this first, and then I'll blow it out and deal with it after you guys are off. Let's set our scale at, I'll go up to 15 and 15/16 right there. That should be the top of the log. It's really close. 16's even closer. Set our 6/4 scale. Okay. So we're scaled off the top now, and we'll just drop down on scale and cut as many as we can. Don't forget your bungee cord. Don't forget your bungee cord. We'll let that blade stop. Push this out of the way. Come up 1 inch, get up behind it. Pull it off this way. And put this one up on the sawhorses. I really hope, really hope that we end up with enough wood here. So drop down, take another one, same thing. Move this one out of the way. Go up an inch and a half. This one up out of the way. And pray to God we don't see any hole. Don't yet. We're good so far. 18 inches. It's almost a quarter. Right? Yeah, 20 would be a, yeah, it's like a quarter of the order right here. Let's cut another one. Getting close though. Getting close. No, no we're not. I take it back. Another one. So it was this one, this one. $27. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Can't. 27. Raise it up. Take it back. Pull this one off. Another one. 1, 2. Still good. Still no hole. Almost 54. We'll be getting them. I think we'll have enough wood. I really do at this point. One more board's going to be 54 plus all this. I think we'll be okay. So let's take another one. So we definitely have 16 inches down there. So I think we got enough. Maybe cut one more. Looks like this next one's gonna have, the next one might have some rot in it. It's ants. It's carpenter ants. It's not rot. So I think this is kind of the pith where we're at right now. I think we'll take one more just in case. Still looks good here. There are ants coming up through it. We're at 9.5 by 8 3/4 right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this board. So I need 16, right? It said you basically got 27 and 27 is 54. So you need 16 inches. You got that on one of these planks. So I think I might leave that just the way it is. It's not kind of an optical illusion. It's like 8 3/4 by 9 1/4. So it's a ½ inch bigger one way. I think because I can just start to see ants coming through a little hole here. There's the queen. Just killed the queen. They'll all leave now. Or at least one of the queens. Think I'm going to take this off just the way it is. Because I can do so much more with this by cutting that section off and having this whole good so I got 12 feet of this. Is beautiful. So I think I'm going to take this off, edge all this down, make sure I have enough. I believe I do, because I mean, I only need 16 inches, and this one right here is 16 wide. So technically I have enough. I mean, I definitely have enough without even edging into the real flitch cuts. I think that makes the most sense, because if I take the end off this, take 4 feet off the end, I got 12'3" of beautiful ash that I can use for something else. So that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'll just show you guys, and I'm going to call this a video. How long does this take me? What? Hour 8. So as you can see, I've got 4 9-inch wide ones here. So that gives me 27 and 27 is 54. I've got a 16-inch wide one right there. That gives me the 70 inches that I need. So I'll edge that one, and I'll edge the one on top of it. There are some ants coming through down there. I think I'm just going to cut it in half. Or I'll edge it and then cut it in half. It's got kind of some wane on both sides. And then I'll take those boards to finish this off. Give me a couple of extras. And then I'm just going to keep this in beam form for now. I'll go find a home for it, set it aside, and leave this, because like I said, I could take the chainsaw, cut 4 feet off the end, and still have 12'3" of beautiful ash. And if you look at, it's a gorgeous log, nice solid sound all the way down to right there, right where that hole is in the bottom down here. So all that 12 feet there is beautiful. And then I can use it for something else. So that seems to make the most sense. So appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I will say this, the dirt, that band is still cutting good, but the dirt definitely put a hurt on it. The dirt and the bark. Let's see if you can see down this edge here. So there's a little tension in this log, you can see, but you see down the edge, if I can get the camera view right, still a nice crisp edge. There's no waves in it. There's no waves in it at all. Roller guides are still really doing their job really well. Even in this big dirty log, hard dirty log, probably as hard a wood as we have here. People say that black locust is, oh, you'll see sparks shooting out. The ash is harder. I've cut a lot of black locust. I've cut a lot of ash. I'm not saying it's a harder wood, maybe once a, I don't know. It's in the ballpark, but I think as far as milling goes, black locust doesn't mill that bad. So ash is definitely in a class by itself, and I've milled a lot of it in my time. So I think that's going to do it. While you guys can go off camera and I'll deal with these. I'll deal with them one at a time. I'll put them up there, edge them, get all the good wood out of a couple of them that I can, do some measurements, and make sure I have enough total. And I'll set the other ones in piles of extra lumber over here of offcuts from customer orders, but I'll be all done customer cutting. And I'll keep these out of the sun somewhere. I'll get them stacked, and they will end up going over. I'll end up probably just sticking them. I can't stick them on the trail. They'll kind of move around unless I put them in. If I put them in, don't even have to screw them down right away. But if I just put them in, they'll settle okay. So they can't kind of warp around. But oh, Danny's chasing a bee. See that bee flying around him? He's trying to bite it. Oh, he's looking for. Oh, there it is. Oh, see him? Crazy dog. All right, well, I appreciate the watch. And for now, with the big ass ash log and Pirate Solutions, this is Pirate Solutions out.